at the moment. We also have a tool called CyberDuck that we use, and as you can see, we have only namespace out there called AutoStore1, which translates into this one, which is the S3 type bucket that we have out here on the Lattus system. So when we create the one from the Commvault system, we will indeed see it being generated here as well as on CyberDuck. And CyberDuck we can drill down into there to take a peek at what's going on underneath. First things first, on the system, we're going to go out and define the library. Go out and say we want to create a cloud storage library. Underscore APAC. Type and our 7107. Change the name. We're going to point at the address of our Lattus system. And or what you might refer to as the password. We define the bucket. Again, the bucket is what Commvault refers to this location, and the Lattus system is referred to as a namespace. So we're going to call it for APAC, and we'll go out. Oh, underscores. We're going to APAC. And there. Now we're going to policy. Created. The library storage policy, so that then from our client we can actually write data to this. So the quantity, our immediate fault, and we're finished. So we have ourselves our storage policy along with our library that's been created. From into the client computers. Right, we've enabled for archiving. We've selected that box, and this is what turns on OnePass by our and have the ability then to configure OnePass inside of the client. So from here, we're going to call the cloud, and we're going to pick up some data on the system. We're going to call it data small. We're going to library that we just created. And again, we're going to turn off details. So the cleanup tab is now, because we're on inside of the file system, we told it to enable the file archiving. And in here we define what the rules are going to be. So to get this, immediately reset this 100% in both cases. And we're going to access time is 0. And then going after, we want to do everything above 3 kilobytes and less than 200. Max size is 200. We have the stub, So here's where we define if we want to replace the file we're going to be archiving with a stub. We also have the ability to delete that file after it has been archived off. So we're going to leave the stubs. At this point, we are ready to job.
Off deduplication, it's not because this doesn't work with Sympana dedupe. It does, but it isn't licensed for deduplication if we leave those checkboxes on. So that license, we're turning it off. That we're using file size as a filter. Easy. Probably using either dates, like date, or a combination of file size and date, or others. We're just size because it's easy.
Okay. Once it started, we want to go back into the Lattus system and library has CMC. It's got Quanta or QuantU APAC. If I do a right now, we don't see that here locally on the new space on there. We just run a refresh. And APAC shows up as an S3. Do a and quantum APAC. Drilled there, and if you're familiar with Commvault, you realize this directory structure. Right, any data that's under here, it's the directory structure. So once we back up, we'll see these areas get populated. So slide away. And we'll monitor. So that was starting. We're in the scan phase at this point. I'm going to go through 4 different phases to complete this backup job. B, where it goes and archives the data and replaces stub.
That we channel backup, and it says here it's doing a full. That's with a OnePass job, a backup for a job. It's always full for a baseline, even though it's incremental. So that if we were to run this again, it would do an incremental. But first time, it's always a full.
Completed. The backup process is now currently running. Once the backup completed, step into the index and then process. This takes within a week or 2 of time. Our backup completed. This good, and now it's running the stubbing process. And now as you notice over here in our data directory, data_small, we have these files that the data has been archived off to the system. Using the parameters that we define, we set anything greater than 50 kilobytes. So files that are smaller, 25, did not get archived because of the rules. But those files that were larger than 200K also did not get archived. So determined that indeed got removed or moved over, we got a file that did not get moved. Look at these, and we can see that the file size, both file and the size that's currently on the disk are basically the same. File that's been archived using OnePass, look at the prior, we can see that the file size is 80, but the size of the disk is only 4. So what's doing, just putting in a 4K stub in place file. So select the file. We have two ways of restoring the file. One is through clicking on the self, and will reach out to the Lattus system and pull that file back in. The second way is to do a file restore. COM cell. The stubs present, just random text files. There's going to see now that the file is all present here locally. We can look at the properties, and we can see now the file size is 4 kilobytes that's local on the disk. So when we retrieve the file, it restores it right back to its original location.
Probably take a peek in CyberDuck, right?
So structure, directory structure, this new directory added, along with data that's been put in these containers. Being parked. So again, this is all living on the system.
I think we're ready for reference copy. And what copy is pretty simply, so we'll make a copy of a specific filtered set of data with and safe place. And that is outside of your normal retention rules. Normally, your backups have a certain retention policy. After a while, they expire. They have those notes from the legal department that says, hey, you need to retain until otherwise everything relates to this product or this client. Copy is for. Take files outside of the backup rotation so they don't expire and save them someplace safe, such as. So I'll have Eve, and I'll show you how easy it is to configure a reference copy job and run it.
Okay. We go into the client computers and create a client. And there we have reference copy. And we'll of type. We have this as a Unix system as well. And for today's purposes, we're going to select File System. So our reference has been created. Under that, we can go to client. We'll call it well. The contents, this is where we define backup that we're going to point this reference copy at. We're going to go after the last backup. So we have the options of selecting either file. The file within these files or directories for to use file name. And we'll bring it here quick. Our call alpha. We're going to go and select every under. I'll throw an asterisk in there, a wildcard, so that we grab everything meet requirement. We're going to go to one, which is the job that was doing the backup. We're going to start on APAC. And then we're going to name. Here's the filters that we're going after. Drill down. Slide data underscore small. And here's that met the filter requirement. So underscore one asterisk. So it these text files, and you can see that some of these files are actual files that live within the operating system, and some that are stubbed out and then archived off using the OnePass feature.
Here, that highlight before, Steve, unfortunately, the copy works only on data that's already in the content store. So it works with existing backups. So preview, and when we run the job, it's not memory storage to get these files. It's running your collection of backups. Get that reference copy.
Okay, everything created. Now we'll storage device. As Dan said, we don't have a system license for dedupe, so we're not to use that today. We're going to schedule this. We're going to run this manually. So now off the reference key, we synthetic full. Monitor the job again. Copy backup job is running against an existing backup previously run with the default, and data that's filtering and extracting that from the existing backup and putting it to a standalone reference copy backup. As you see that I had to hit the retry button, and as the job hung, we resumed it, and as you can see, completed. So our reference copy job finished. Now is to verify that the job has been out and on the latest backup. And we'll into and you can only the files that we put in the copy are backup, so we can restore anything that was selected by using the filters reference copy.
Good. What we've seen here with our production values and verbal stumbling, we showed you how to configure Lattus, which is a piece of cake, and the target for backup, for the OnePass archive, which was really with the backup, target for a reference copy. So it's very simple to do with two object store. Thank you very much for watching.